Hey guys, what's up? Warning you right now, this is not a serious video. It's not, you can tell by the title, it's not a philosophical one, it's not a political one, not religious, whatever. So if you didn't guess by the title what this is going to be about, and you still clicked on this and you don't want to hear this, leave now. Okay, you lost a chance to leave.
Bye!
People, listen to me. I'm pleading with you now. This Twilight shit has got to stop. Really has to. Seriously, no, seriously. Especially if you're a female watching this video right now, you happen to have the Twilight posters and the Twilight lunchbox and the Twilight drawers and the Twilight wallet and whatever. Listen to me. The shit has got to stop. It's gone way too fucking far. I am really getting tired of this. How long are you guys going to continue to glorify what is nothing more than over-glorified fan fiction? And rather badly written fan fiction at that. And even worse, someone's sexual fantasies being written as fan fiction and now being put to print and you guys are buying it. In droves. People, please, this shit has got to stop. Just when I thought the IQs of this country couldn't have been any lower, this shit pops up. And it just, it is worse for me because I work at a bookstore and I have to constantly be bombarded with this shit every day. We got a fucking bookshelf that's just completely devoted to this insipid shit. You got people coming in with the Twilight t-shirts and the Twilight book bags, and they're coming in and buying the Twilight buttons and and some more Twilight posters, and they need to buy an extra copy of the Twilight book because they bought the hardcover book, and now they need the softcover book to get the shit. People, please, no, stop it. This shit has got to stop. It is not good fiction. It has never been good fiction. Dear God. I know it's hard for you teeny boppers and you middle-aged women with the sad love lives to understand this shit, but this is not good writing. This is not good work. It isn't. No. Stop arguing. It isn't. It's not good work. I can prove it in this video if you just give me a chance. And I'm not speaking as this is somebody who, oh, he's just a man, so he doesn't understand. Fuck you. I like a good romance every now and then.
Twilight fucking sucks.
Even my wife agrees.
I could write better than that with my eyes closed.
I've talked to other women who were able to look past the bullshit in the book, and they all agree. It's some of the worst fiction they have read in a while. And I've read some bad shit, and I have to agree with them. Where do I start? And by the way, one thing I have to get out of the way, one of the major reasons why this Twilight thing is really beginning to piss me off is, again, I work at a bookstore. I will be honest, there is some worse shit out there than Twilight. There is. But the difference between Stephenie Meyer and the other people who write that other bad crap is that when those people write their bad crap and somehow they're lucky enough to get it published and sell many copies, they keep their mouths shut about it. If they do happen to be interviewed or if they happen to see a little blurb, well, you know, I just happen to like writing my stories and I happen to like my characters and so on and so forth, and I just hope to continue my success, and that's it. But then you got this woman going, well, I personally believe that this is the best romance around. The woman even dared to say that the Twilight series is a better romance story than The Princess Bride.
She did not.
She did.
Blasphemy.
Where do I start? First off, the writing is bad, disjointed, repetitive, and usually doesn't get anywhere until toward the end of the books. It's always the same shit over and over. The Mary Sue wakes up, which it is a Mary Sue. You're pretty much reading Stephenie Meyer in her ideal image. Look at the name, Bella Swan. What more of a freaking sign do you need that this is a Mary Sue? She wakes up, complains about her uncool dad, goes to class, avoids the looks of all the other boys who somehow all love and adore her, but yet her eyes are for, of course, the dark, lonely stranger in the corner, who, if she can just find a way to get close to him and understand him more, she can open him up, she can change him, she can make him a better man. Gee, just like so many other freaking bad, half-baked Harlequin novel books that have been out there. Jeez. The reason why many of you people out there who love Twilight don't seem to realize this is bad writing is because you're so caught up in the fact that it's written in first person. So since it's written as I, your subconscious begins to go, it's me, I'm living this fantasy. Grow up, please. There's some better freaking fiction out there. The another thing that pisses me off about this series is how it spits in the face of legitimate vampire stories, if there really is such a thing. But you nerds know what I mean. There's better vampire fiction out there. And yet Twilight's being held as the best. They're not even real freaking vampires, for God's sakes. Have people forgotten what vampires are supposed to be like? What the fuck has happened? Look, guys, you want to know what a real vampire is? Read Bram Stoker's Dracula. That's a vampire, okay? Or if you need a more visual medium because you guys have forgotten how to read, go watch The Lost Boys. Those are some real freaking vampires, alright? Not the greatest movie in the world, but definitely a highly entertaining one and one that I happen to love. Or, okay, Anne Rice is not exactly my favorite writer. Her freaking stories tend to have a whole lot of wishy-washy vampires, but at least they act like real fucking vampires. Read, I don't know, Interview with a Vampire. Read that one. Be entertained by that. Or better yet, you want some good vampire fiction? Check out the Vampire Hunter D novels. Or even the manga. They recently started turning those into manga now. A couple of the animes. That's some better fucking vampire fiction. And some really interesting, thought-provoking ones at that, considering that they link vampires to nobility. So it ends up being social commentary on a whole. Good shit. Deep insight. Nothing you will see in Twilight. People, vampires are supposed to burst into flames in the sun. They're not supposed to sparkle in it. And the reason why they're supposed to burn in the sun is because it's supposed to show their unholiness. Remember, vampires are the undead. They are also, in some small way, minor demons. These are not supposed to be top-notch mate material. They're not the ultimate life mate material. It's the whole, oh, if everyone takes me, I get to live forever and ever. No, you're not living forever. You're now undead, and you must feast upon the living. I'm still waiting for the other shoe to drop it, because if you guys have noticed in the bookstores, all the fucking vampire romance novel books that have been popping up all over the place ever since Twilight got popular. So now I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop, and for the zombie romance novel books to start popping up. I will get my brains eaten by a zombie, and then I will live forever and ever with my rotting limbs falling to the ground as I feast upon the brains and flesh of the other human beings. It'll happen if this shit keeps up, trust me. Another thing that really gets me is that it's obvious that this woman has never really researched any real vampire fiction or the symbolism of what vampires actually are supposed to be. And modern fiction, that is. And she's even admitted she's never done the research, nor did she want to. If you look at old vampire fiction, especially like Bram Stoker's Dracula, you realize that the vampire, especially the male vampire attacking women, is supposed to be an allegory to sexual lust. In fact, the actual biting of the female is supposed to represent sex, as my wife has pointed out to me before. It's supposed to be an allegory to lust. Remember, especially in Bram Stoker's Dracula, the way it was written, the way it was depicted, you know, the Dracula enters the woman's room and bites her and then says she's now condemned to feast upon living blood. And now she's a raving, blood-sucking maniac just like him. Or if you look at the allegory here, a sex-crazy person just like him. Remember, this was written back in times when they considered that women were supposed to be a lot more proper. They aren't supposed to like sex, or you don't want to engage in their lusts. And this is supposed to represent that. The man unlocked her ferocity. And that's part of the reason why vampires these days have always been kind of injected with a bit of eroticism to them. It's because of those particular links. They always had that. But also, quite frankly, if you just want to look at it in more practical terms, another reason why vampires are supposed to be so beautiful looking and to have that mysterious charm is because it's the bait. As Dave Chappelle once joked in one of his things, gotcha, bitch, if you happen to fall for a vampire. It's the bait. You're falling in love with a minor demon who wants to suck you dry.
He's a masturbator.
Oh, God. There's nothing romantic about that.
In any sense.
But to continue on, to understand the allegory, and then look at Twilight, you realize that she's spitting in the face of any decent vampire fiction. Because remember, if you look at this, and I find it ironic that you can tell by looking at it this is her form of sexual fantasy, but at the same time, because of her Mormon background, she wants to make this whole abstinence moral book, and trying to show you're supposed to wait for sex. So of course, she makes the sexual experience not all that pleasant. And then the childbirth afterwards pretty much damn kills the woman. So nice message there. Great message. Not only girls, not only is sex really bad for you, but then the childbirth is going to be even worse. You don't want to look forward to that. Jesus. And then I don't even want to get into another thing, how insulting this work of fiction is to women, to modern women at all. This, if you look through all 4 books, the main character cannot do shit on her own without a male coming to save her. She even admits that her will is no longer her own because she's already given it up to Edward. What kind of shit is that? So now she's basically saying that a man has to dictate her life? This pretty much destroys so much of the freaking work that feminists have been doing for like, what, the past 20, 30 years? People, please, wake up. This is not good fiction.